In the spirit of the topic of this video, we are going to go on a walk in the country roads. Now, all I need is a southern accent to go along with it. But I don't have it. I'm not gonna embarrass myself here. I'm not gonna make a fool out of myself here. I don't got it. I'm terrible at impersonating the southern accent, the southern Texan accent or something. Anyway, but I enjoy it. So if anybody watched South Park, the last season, and basically Randy Marsh owns this wheat farm, and so because he moved to the country, he started speaking with a southern accent. It's hilarious. So walking in the same way, a cheetah is the fastest running animal on land. It goes up to 120 kilometers per hour. That's insane. Okay, now that's, I think, what they recorded. So they recorded the top speed of a cheetah, a very, very healthy cheetah. I think they recorded up to 120 kilometers per hour. Insane. So in the same way, a cheetah is the fastest running animal on land. A human being is the longest walking animal on the planet, on land. Okay, we are the longest walking animal on land. We can walk the longest. In fact, some of the tribes that are still intact in Africa, the way they hunt game is they'll keep chasing it for 3, 4, 5 hours until it's so exhausted from running away. Meanwhile, they're still walking, because human being is the longest walking animal, and they just walk right in and just hunt it, like, just because they can walk forever. And the animal just got so exhausted, because if you look at most animals, almost all animals, with the exception of humans, maybe some chimps, maybe, I don't know too much, but for the most part, they go in bursts, right? They're really good at accelerating, and then they get tired, they get exhausted. And so you have animals, basically all the big cats, they sleep like most of the day, because they're really good at going in bursts, but then that exhausts their nervous system, and so they lack the stamina, and so they end up sleeping, because they fry their nervous system. So for us, we're the longest walking animal. Our design, that's why I say probably monkeys are kind of, certain types of monkeys are also the ones that are mostly resemble our design. They probably can walk also for many hours. But we are supposed to, a healthy human being is supposed to be able to walk hours and hours without getting tired, without feeling hungry, and perhaps even a little bit of thirst. Because this is just like in a cheetah's natural instincts, programs, nature programs. It is to run. Okay, it is to run as fast as possible. In our own program, in our DNA, is the program to walk. Okay, so this is why, if you are ever stressed, go and take a walk for an hour, and it's like boom, it's like you are just kind of running around in your mind, and then you just walk, because you're forgetting this important aspect of you, that is walking, that is movement, because literally the vehicle that you took on as a soul is designed to walk. And as a wise soul, hopefully, who is in tune with the vehicle that you take on, you understand that you have to flow with that vehicle, and you have to honor its programming. And so the programming of this vehicle is the programming of movement, specifically walking. Okay, so my own personal little cute equation is everybody ought to walk for a minimum of 3 hours a day. That's my own little cute personal theory on this. That if you really want to keep your health in tip-top shape, amongst a holistic approach would include a 3-hour walk every day. And of course, it doesn't have to be 3 hours in a row, but dispersed throughout the day. So instead of eating 3 meals a day, you walk 3 times a day and you meditate 3 times a day. It's kind of what I do lately. So you have a walk in the morning, about an hour or so, a meditation in the morning, about an hour or so, a walk in the afternoon. I'm in my second walk today. Okay. So a walk in the afternoon, a meditation session in the afternoon, and then a walk in the evening and a meditation session in the evening. Okay. You're going to be in tip-top shape, tip-top health if you're able to actually make this part of your lifestyle. It's very, very, very important to move. It cannot be overemphasized, especially in a culture now that continues to embrace the path of sedentary lifestyle. Okay, we continue to have these applications. We don't even have to go do anything. Our food just comes to our door, right? Our rides come to our door, our Uber and everything. So yeah, everybody is leaning more and more towards sitting these days. Now you might think to yourself, in a beautiful place where I live, you think that maybe people are active and stuff. The farmers are, but the people that aren't working in farms, there's quite a bit of obesity here in Thailand, believe it or not. The farmers they're in good shape, very good shape, because they're moving all day. But anybody who's not on a farm here, obesity is actually becoming more and more of a problem in Thailand and in many parts of the world, where even though it's still designed for movement and it's beautiful weather, people are actually boxing themselves in more and more. So it's becoming a problem all around the world, really, even in beautiful places that actually are, perfect heavens for walking and movement. Same thing. So I really think if you want to test your physical health, see how long you can walk one time without actually getting tired. Don't kid yourself, don't lie to yourself, because you're trying to gauge your own health here. You're trying to see how healthy am I. So if you want to see that, you start to walk as long as you can. And if you're getting tired anytime before an hour, you gotta do something about your health. Because a human being should at least be able to walk for an hour without getting thirsty, without getting hungry, without getting any aches, any pains in your legs, okay? A minimum. Okay, now, an hour at least. And if you could do at least an hour, you're in decent shape. Keep working at it, because we humans, we're supposed to be able to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk to no end. And it doesn't matter what our age is, okay? Aging this is for a different video, right? We're going down the Breatharian talks now, okay? Different video, aging and all that stuff. But nevertheless, we're supposed to be able to walk for hours, not getting tired, not getting thirsty, not getting aches, not getting pains. But because most of us are sick, have inherited genetics that have been sick due to many generational faulty programming and bad lifestyle habits, etc. So it's a lot of times not our fault. Most of the times it's not our fault, but we work with it. Start moving. No, spirituality doesn't mean you sit cross-legged all day long, although it can. It can. For some people it is. And it's a valid path. So I'm not here to argue. But it doesn't have to be. I found that if you honor the package that you're in, the vehicle that you're in, the temple that you're in, that you will have a more pleasant ride overall. Like I've tried going to a Vipassana retreat and I hated my life. I left halfway through because there's no movement. There's no movement. So my meditations were pointless. I wasn't able to concentrate. I was aching all over. I wasn't honoring the programming of this vehicle, which requires a lot of movement because that's the way it's designed. And it works nicely that way. You really feel good as a consciousness inside the car if you're using it the way it's intended to be used. Anyway, all paths are valid. Everybody has their own unique path, right? Walk. I'm just recommending it. I'm putting it out there. It's going to make every aspect of your life more pleasant. It's going to move the energy through. Okay? You are your body. I know they tell you you're not your body. Let me explain this perspective. From the point of view of oneness, there's no separation whatsoever. So if you ever got in a flow state and got in your car, my bike in my case, okay, or your bicycle, and you drove on your bicycle and you're in a total flow state, okay, or your car or whatever, did you not feel at one with your car? Did you not feel that you and your car were one and the same, that there's no separation, that at that particular moment where you happen to be in total flow, you were your car, that you and your car are one, so therefore you are your car? This is the same thing with the body. Of course, the body is transient, and it comes to be, and then it gets preserved and it gets destroyed. Brahma, the creator, creates the body. Vishnu preserves it for a little while, and then Shiva destroys it. Of course, we know that. Consciousness goes on. We know that. But in that period, that preservation period of Vishnu, you are your body. Unless you want to continue to dissect reality and say, well, you're not your body. It's like, no, but you're your body. For that time period, you are your body. Because if you're actually in total oneness, for that period that you're driving this car, you are the car. Just like when you're driving on your motorbike or your car or your bicycle and you're in flow, you are the car. No, there's no separation between you and the car. You are the engine. You are the car. And every movement you make with the car, with the bike, with the bicycle, you are the bicycle. You know, you and your movements are indistinguishable from the bicycle at that point, from the car. It's the same thing. So in many ways, while you're having the human experience, you are your body. No, you are your body. You are your body. Until you drop the car and go to a different car, an astral car, a different dimension, a lighter car, a denser car, wherever you go next. Right? I'm not the manager in this amusement park, okay? I'm just a participant, right? So the managers, you talk to the managers, you figure out where you go next. It's none of my business. Nevertheless, every ride you take, every vehicle you take, you become the vehicle. That's how the game is played. God wants to experience itself through creation, and then experiencing itself fully through that expression. And God wants to express itself fully as a human. It wants to know what it's like to be a human. What is this vehicle like? What is it built? Oh, it likes to move a lot. Its main strength, the main defining feature of it is its walking ability. It's the longest walking animal. Oh, cool. Let me actually use it then, as I intended to create it, to walk, to move it. Let's move. And then God wants to experience itself as a cheetah, and then God goes through the cheetah. Oh, what is this like? Oh, it can go really fast. It's the fastest animal on land. All right. Now, do you sit around and just ignore that? Then you're going to be a miserable, sick cheetah. Right? You're going to be a miserable, sick cheetah, period. That's why, you put animals in cages and they just kind of, it's really sad, because it's like you're not allowing God to experience itself as it wanted to experience itself in that vehicle. You're repressing the expression of that particular expression. You're repressing it. And so, it's sad to see that. In the same way, like, if you sit around a human being, well, you're inside a vehicle here that you created as the creator, and your creation, you created this to be the longest walking animal on this planet. All right, so let's actually use it as it's intended, to increase its harmony, to align it as much as possible to the Tao, its way, because everything has a Tao, everything has a way. The way of the human body is walking. Okay, you feel much happier. Especially if you get yourself to country roads like this, or all you guys have some kind of a nature trail around you. Even if you live in a desert, go to the desert. It's very charming. Jesus found it charming. Muhammad found it charming. I find it charming. I'm personally planning, when I go back to visit my family in Qatar, I'm planning to go out camping in the desert. Get those Jesus vibes, those Muhammad vibes. Because the desert is a magical place. It really is. So you really have no excuse. You really have no excuse, because you all have something somewhere beautiful around you. to go out, then go there and take a walk. And if not, go walk in your city. It's still better than, it beats sitting around in your home. Now, what if it's cold? I lived in Canada for 15 years. I experienced the coldest possible temperatures you can imagine. I lived in Ottawa last year, which recorded the coldest temperatures for a capital city. Okay, so I'm not kidding when I say I am in that small percentage of humans that have experienced the coldest temperatures a human can experience. And I still used to go for walks, maybe not 3 hours, because I'll tell you, sometimes it's just way too cold, but at least an hour a day. And the way I had my life set up while I was living in Canada was I had no car, I had no means of transportation. My legs were my means of transportation. The whole time I was there, I would go January and it's like freezing and it's windy, and I'd go grab my groceries and I'd walk with my groceries. I'd walk back home. So the way I designed my life, I forced myself to have a lifestyle that revolved around walking. So despite it being cold, because again, I had no other means of transportation other than last year, which I had a car, but the other 14 years, I was always on my feet. My legs were my means of transportation all throughout the seasons. So you dress warm and you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, I can't tell you how many times I got almost like frost bites and stuff like that. You know, it almost becomes a habit at some point, because in my apartment, it wasn't well insulated. I lived there for 8 years. It became a habit for me to be cold, actually. And then I started taking the cold showers and started doing the cold training, etc. But it's no excuse neither. You know, you should still be getting out there, getting at least an hour of walking, at least an hour. Try and make it 2 in winters, maybe 3 in summers in good weather, 2 in winters. If you can't make it happen, get rid of your car, get rid of all means of transportation, and just start walking. If your school is 45 minutes away, well, start walking. When I was in high school, I walked. My high school was 35 or 40 minutes walk. We used to go walk it there, me and my sister and my brother and our friends in the neighborhood, and walk it back. This was grade 11, grade 12, you know, cold. We'd throw snowballs at each other, right? You can make it. You could walk even in winters. You could walk at least 2 hours a day. Okay? It'll keep you sane in winters. I'm telling you. You need to stay sane in winters. So you need to do these things. You really do. Okay? So yeah, I'm here setting the standard, setting the benchmark, right? And I'm saying that it should be about 3 hours a day of movement, and comfortably. Let me tell you, no aches, no pains, no tiredness, no thirst, no hunger, because you're doing your thing. You're doing what the Tao is Taoing through the human. That's the way of the human. That's the way of this thing. It's the way of it is movement. I was in the weightlifting business for quite some time. It's not what our bodies are designed to do, and so that's why every time I worked out like crazy the day before or the day after, I'm out. I'm man down. 10 hours of sleep and I'm still waking up because the body has to do all these things to grow the muscles and recover and get rid of the lactic acid and the waste byproducts. The body can do it, but the body can digest some of the most. It can digest plastic. We put plastic in there, but it just takes a lot of energy, right? It's not optimal. So so in the same way, I would say walking is our thing. This is our primary exercise, is walking. The human body, and a human being that walks, that is active, for a good portion of the day, never needs to lift a rock, never needs to do anything, any weights, or not even run. I mean, talk about running. That's I mean, you try and I mean, running, you could argue running is our next thing after walking. But if you do walking and if you're active, you never need to run a day. You never need to sweat a day even. You walk, that's it. That's the primary function of the body as far as the physical movement is movement. Essentially, just movement. Light movement. Low intensity. Okay, parasympathetic. The human vehicle is designed to be in parasympathetic, by the way, because this is a vehicle to transcend into higher dimensions. So, when a consciousness chooses a human vessel, it chooses it deliberately because it provides the opportunity for this, for the consciousness to go beyond to higher dimensions. And the way it's designed, it isn't designed for intensive purposes. It isn't designed to like do intense things. And although we can do that and we adapt to it, but we pay for it dearly. You need to sleep more. You need to cultivate more energy. It's a big process. But low intensity is where it's at. Parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. Thank you to the Patreons for supporting these rants. I really enjoy making these rants. And yeah, this is my second hour. I think my lunch walk, let's call it. Lunch walk, noon walk, and I'll just be making videos. It'll just be making videos. So yeah, I really enjoy these rants. I enjoy everybody that supports them in any way, especially the Patreons. You guys are amazing. And anybody who donates one-time donations on PayPal too. You guys are so awesome and so lovely and generous, and I'm really appreciative that you find these rants entertaining enough to actually contribute to the cause financially. And if you'd like to do so, links in the description. Saeed Mobayed Instagram. Until next time, may the force. Ooh, force is strong here. I'm gonna go here. May the force be with you.